Is your mind full? Full of noise? Full of thoughts, feelings, fears, and questions? Maybe you wake up in the morning and your brain is already busy. Maybe you feel tired even before the day begins. There are so many things to do, so many problems to solve, so many people to please. You think, I must be better. I must try harder. I must not fail. Your mind talks and talks. It never stops. It tells stories. Some are good. Some are scary. Some make you feel small. Some make you afraid to move forward. Even when you are not doing anything, your thoughts continue. They spin like a wheel. They go in circles. They make your heart feel heavy. Sometimes you want to rest. You want peace. But your mind doesn't let you. So, again, you keep going. You try harder. You try to fill your mind with more words, more lessons, more plans, more rules. But it never feels enough. You never feel ready. We are often told, you must learn more. You must think more. You must be more. So we try to fill our minds with books, with ideas, with goals, with answers. But what if we are filling too much? What if your mind is already full? Like a cup filled to the top with tea. If you try to pour more tea inside, what happens? It spills. It overflows. Nothing more can go in. Your mind is like that. When it is too full, new things cannot enter. When you are too busy, you cannot truly learn. When you are too afraid, you cannot feel peace. Growth does not come from more noise. It comes from silence. Learning does not come from more pressure. It comes from space. What if, to truly grow, you must first empty the cup? Empty the fear. Empty the need to be perfect. Empty the thoughts that do not help you. Just stop. Be still. And listen. This is a story. A story about a young man. Maybe he is a little like you. Maybe he wanted the same things you want. He was smart, kind, and full of dreams. But he felt something was wrong. His mind was always busy. It was like a room with too many voices. Every voice said something different. Do more, one voice said. Work harder, said another. Don't fail, said a third. He listened to all the voices, all the time. He never rested. He never felt enough. He wanted to learn English. He wanted to speak clearly, to understand movies, to have deep conversations with people. But when he tried, something always stopped him. His mind said, what if you say it wrong? What if people laugh? What if you can't find the words? And so, he stayed quiet. He was young, but he felt old inside. His heart wanted to fly. But his mind was full. He was not lazy. No. He worked harder than most people. He studied every morning before school. He watched English videos. He downloaded apps. He made long vocabulary lists. He wrote sentences again and again. He wanted to get better. He wanted to feel proud. But the more he tried, the more tired he felt. Every small mistake made him angry at himself. Every time he forgot a word, he felt like a failure. Why can't I remember? He asked himself. What is wrong with me? His friends told him, you're doing great. But he didn't believe them. Because in his own mind, he was never doing enough. His heart was always racing. His shoulders were always tight. He tried to smile. But inside, he was not happy. He thought, maybe if I study more, I will finally feel good. So he studied more. But the heavy feeling stayed. He looked around at other students. They seemed so confident. They spoke easily. They laughed. They answered questions fast. He watched them and thought, why can't I be like that? When they spoke English, their words sounded smooth. When he spoke, his tongue felt heavy. His voice was soft. His hands shook. He compared himself every day. On social media, he saw people showing certificates, speaking fluently, traveling abroad. They are better, he thought. I'm too slow. I'll never catch up. He started to feel small. Like he didn't belong. Like he wasn't good enough. But the truth was, no one saw his hard work. No one saw his quiet pain. He was trying so hard, but in silence. His heart wanted someone to say, "It's okay. You're growing. You're learning." But instead, his mind kept saying, "You are behind. You are not enough." Even at night, his thoughts continued. He would lie in bed, eyes closed, but his brain was awake. Did I study enough today? Why did I forget that word? Tomorrow, I must do more. I can't fail. Over and over, the same thoughts. Some days, he dreamed in English. But not happy dreams. Stress dreams. He dreamed about forgetting what to say in front of people. He dreamed about failing a test. He woke up tired. He felt more tired in the morning than when he went to sleep. His mind did not know how to stop. There was always something more to do. Something more to worry about. He wanted rest. Real rest. But how? How do you rest your mind when your mind never turns off? He sat in class. He understood the teacher, mostly. But when it was time to speak, he froze. He knew the words. He studied them many times. But now, his mouth forgot. His brain became quiet. Not calm, just blank. His heart beat faster. His hands felt cold. He tried to speak, but the words came out wrong. Or they didn't come at all. Then, the shame came. The feeling of being less than. He smiled to hide it. But inside, he was hurting. He wanted to speak well. He wanted to connect. But every time he failed, the wall inside him grew taller. Every small mistake felt like a big failure. His mind said, "See? You can't do it." So he started to believe it. It wasn't just about language anymore. It became about him. I'm not smart enough, he thought. I'm not fast enough. These thoughts became beliefs. They sat heavy in his chest. He remembered times people corrected him. Times people laughed. Even small things felt big. A look. A joke. A sigh. His mind collected all these moments and turned them into stories. They think I'm stupid. They are bored of me. I will never be good. These stories were not true. But they felt true. Shame is like a shadow, always behind you. You can't always see it, but you feel it. And he felt it, every day. One day, after class, he sat on a bench. He looked at the ground. He felt tired, not just in his body, but in his soul. Maybe this isn't for me, he said quietly. Maybe I'm just not meant to speak English well. He felt like a failure. Like he had tried everything and still, nothing changed. His eyes felt wet, but he didn't cry. His chest felt tight. His hands were cold. He didn't want to try anymore. What's the point, he asked. But deep inside, there was something small. A soft voice. It said, "Don't give up. Not yet. There is another way." That voice was quiet. But he listened. That weekend, he took a long walk. No phone. No music. Just himself. He walked out of the city, where there were fewer people. The air was fresh. The wind touched his face. He kept walking, past shops, past houses, past roads. After many hours, he saw a small wooden house. It looked peaceful. There was a man sitting outside. He was old. His hair was white. His eyes were calm. He looked at the trees, the sky, the birds. He didn't look busy. He didn't look stressed. He looked free. The young man stopped walking. He looked at the old man. The old man smiled. A gentle, quiet smile. The young man felt something in his chest relax. Like a soft light. He stepped closer. And then, he asked, "Sir, can you help me?" The young man stood in front of the small house. He felt unsure. He had many questions in his heart, but no words in his mouth. The old man looked at him with kind eyes. Not sharp. Not full of judgment. Just, kind. He didn't speak first. He just waited. The young man slowly walked closer. He sat down on the small bench beside the old man. The trees were moving in the wind. The sun was warm. Birds were singing far away. Still, the young man felt nervous. He wanted to speak, but how do you begin? After a moment of silence, he said, "I don't know what to do anymore." His voice was soft. The old man turned to him and said gently, "Tell me." So the young man began. He spoke about studying, failing, comparing himself, feeling lost. He spoke about trying to learn English, but never feeling good enough. He spoke about the noise in his mind. The fear in his chest. The pain of never feeling ready. The old man didn't interrupt. He just listened, truly listened. And that made the young man feel something he hadn't felt in a long time, safe. After talking for a long time, the young man stopped. He looked at the ground. He was quiet again. His hands were in his lap. His voice was tired. "It's like, my mind is always running," he said. "Even when I'm not doing anything, it keeps talking. I try to learn, but I can't hold anything more. I try to speak, but my words don't come out right. I feel stuck. I feel full." The old man nodded slowly. His eyes were closed for a moment, as if he was thinking, or maybe just feeling. Then he opened them and said, "Yes. Your mind is full. Too full." The young man looked confused. "But isn't that good?" he asked. "I study. I practice. I'm trying to fill it with the right things." The old man smiled. A small, peaceful smile. "Let me show you something," he said. He stood up slowly and walked into the small house. The young man followed. The room inside was simple, just a table, 2 chairs, and a small pot for tea. The old man lit a small fire. He boiled water in a kettle. He moved with peace. Every motion was gentle. He didn't rush. He didn't speak. He only focused on the moment. The young man watched. He started to feel calm, just by being near this stillness. The old man took 2 cups and placed them on the table. Then, he poured the hot water into a pot with tea leaves. The smell was warm and earthy. He lifted the pot and poured tea into 1 cup. He kept pouring. The cup filled quickly. But he didn't stop. The tea rose to the top. It reached the edge. And then, it spilled over. It dripped down the sides. It ran across the table. The young man's eyes grew wide. "Stop," he said quickly. "It's full. It's going to overflow." The old man stopped pouring. He looked at the young man. His face was soft, but serious. Then he said, "Yes. It is full. Nothing more can go in." The room became silent again. The old man sat down. He looked at the young man kindly. "This cup," he said, "is like your mind." The young man looked at the tea spilling onto the table. "It cannot hold more until it is empty," the old man continued. You try to add new things every day, words, rules, goals, pressure. But there is no space left. The young man sat very still. He understood. His heart started to beat slower. The old man took a cloth and cleaned the table. Then, he picked up the cup and gently poured out the extra tea. Now, he said, there is room again. The young man looked at the empty cup. It was simple. But powerful. So. I need to empty my mind, he asked. Yes, said the old man. Let go of what is not helping you. Let go of fear. Of the need to be perfect. Of the voice that says you are not enough. Only then can new things enter. Only then can you learn with peace. The young man looked at the cup again. It made sense. He looked at the tea, the cup, the clean table. His heart felt something changing. But he was still unsure. How do I do that? He asked. I don't know how to stop my thoughts. They just keep coming. The old man nodded. You do not need to stop your thoughts. You need to stop believing every one of them. You need to give them space to pass. He paused, then added, like clouds in the sky. The young man looked up. Through the small window, he saw the sky. Clouds were moving. Some big. Some small. But none stayed forever. Your thoughts are the same, the old man said. They come. They go. Let them. Don't hold them. Don't fight them. Just breathe. Just be. The young man breathed in. Then out. The words were simple. But they felt deep. He was starting to understand something his books had never taught him: silence is also part of learning. The old man invited him to sit on the floor. There was a small mat. No phone. No book. No music. Just stillness. Close your eyes, the old man said gently. Just breathe. Slowly. The young man did. Inhale. Exhale. At first, his mind continued to talk. This is strange. I'm wasting time. I should be studying. But the old man had told him, let the thoughts pass. Like clouds. Don't follow them. Just watch them. So he did. He listened to his breath. In and out. He felt his body on the floor. He felt the sun on his skin. Slowly, something began to change. His heart beat softer. His shoulders relaxed. His mind was still talking, but it was quieter now. Like a radio far away. Not in control. Just there. And for the first time in a long time, he felt space. Inside his mind. Inside his chest. Like a window opening. After some time, the old man rang a small bell. The young man opened his eyes. The room looked the same. But inside, something felt different. He felt light. As if something heavy had been taken off his back. His thoughts were still there, but they didn't feel strong. They didn't feel scary. How do you feel? The old man asked. I feel calm, he answered. It surprised him. He hadn't felt calm in many months. The old man smiled. You are not broken, he said. You were just too full. Now you are learning how to make space. The young man nodded. He understood now. Learning doesn't only happen in the mind. It also happens in the heart. And sometimes, the best way to move forward, is to stop and breathe. Before he left, the young man asked one last question. But when I speak, I still make mistakes. I still forget words. What should I do? The old man looked at him kindly. Speak anyway, he said. Not to be perfect. But to be open. Speak with your heart, not just your mouth. The young man felt something inside him shift. He realized something important. He had been chasing perfection. But he had forgotten connection. Language is not about being perfect. It's about being real. Being present. Being willing to try, to fall, and to rise again. "Thank you," he said. The old man nodded. "Remember," he said, "an empty cup is not useless. It is ready." With that, the young man stood, bowed slightly, and left the quiet house with a quiet smile. As he walked back to the city, the road was the same, but he was not. The air felt softer. The trees looked greener. The sounds of life were clearer. Before, he would have had headphones in. Before, he would have been thinking, worrying, planning. But now, he just walked. He listened to his steps. He noticed the birds. He saw children playing. A dog running. A woman laughing. And he smiled. His mind was not empty, but it was not full either. It had space. And in that space, he felt peace. He didn't need to be fast. He didn't need to rush. He just needed to breathe. And begin again. When he got home, everything looked the same, his books, his desk, his phone. But he was not the same. He sat down, opened his notebook, and saw his notes. They used to make him feel stressed. Now, he felt something else, curiosity. He didn't feel like he had to study. He wanted to. Not to be perfect. But to grow. He opened a video in English. He listened. He didn't understand every word. But he smiled anyway. He was not afraid. He was open. He was ready. He remembered the tea, the cup, the silence. And he whispered to himself, "Now. I begin again." The next day, the young man woke up early. The sky outside was still dark, but he felt light. He stretched his arms and took a deep breath. His mind was quiet, not empty, but clear. He sat at his desk, opened his notebook, and looked at his vocabulary list. Before, these words made him feel small, like he had so much to do, and never enough time. But now, he smiled. He picked one word. Just one. He read it slowly. He whispered it aloud. He said it again. He imagined using it in a sentence. He didn't rush. He didn't try to memorize 100 words in one day. He didn't judge himself. He didn't say, "I should know this already." Instead, he thought, "This is a new word. I will give it space." He looked at the word with love, like it was something special. And slowly, learning became peaceful again. Later that week, he met with a friend to practice English. Usually, he felt nervous before speaking. But this time, he remembered what the old man had said, "Don't speak to be perfect. Speak to be open." So he spoke. Not fast. Not fancy. But honest. When he didn't know a word, he paused. He smiled. He tried again. His friend listened, not to correct, but to understand. And something beautiful happened. The conversation flowed. Not perfectly, but naturally. They laughed. They shared ideas. They made mistakes, both of them. But there was no shame. Only learning. Only connection. He realized, speaking is not about showing what you know. It's about sharing who you are. And when your heart is open, people hear more than just your words, they hear you. Weeks passed. He continued learning. He continued listening. He didn't try to be fast. He didn't try to be perfect. He just stayed open. And slowly, people began to notice something. When he spoke, people listened. Not because he used difficult words. Not because he spoke with a perfect accent. But because his words came from a quiet place, a peaceful place. He wasn't trying to prove anything. He was just sharing. And that made his words feel clear. Gentle. True. He didn't speak loudly. But his voice had weight. He didn't speak perfectly. But he spoke authentically. And that, he learned, was more powerful than any grammar rule. He no longer asked himself, "Am I good enough?" That question became quieter. That fear became softer. It didn't control him anymore. He still had goals. He still wanted to improve. But now, he was not learning because he hated himself, he was learning because he loved learning. His heart had space again. Space for joy. For curiosity. For patience. Before, he was climbing a mountain and looking only at the top. Now, he was walking slowly, and looking at the trees, the flowers, the view around him. He realized something important: you don't need to reach the top to feel happy. Sometimes, just walking the path with peace in your heart, is enough. He often thought of the old man. The small wooden house. The warm tea. The moment when the cup overflowed. It was such a simple picture, yet it changed his life. The cup reminded him to check his mind. Is it too full? He would ask himself. Am I carrying too many fears today? If yes, he would pause. He would take a breath. Go for a walk. Sit in silence. Listen. And empty the cup. Not forever. Just enough to make space. Enough to let the light in. That small habit, of checking his mind, helped him stay clear. Stay grounded. Stay human. He once wanted to be the best. To be perfect. To impress others. But now, he had a new dream: to live with peace in his mind and love in his heart. To learn slowly. To listen deeply. To speak kindly. He was still a student, but of more than just English. He was a student of peace. Of presence. Of patience. And that made him feel alive. He didn't need certificates to feel proud. He didn't need others to say, "You're great." He knew, deep inside, that he was on the right path. And that was enough. Truly enough. Maybe you are like him. Maybe your mind is full too. Full of fear. Of shoulds. Of pressure. Maybe you feel tired from trying to be perfect. Maybe you've been studying hard, but still feel stuck. Maybe you've told yourself, "I'm not good enough." If that's true, then this story is for you. Not to teach you more rules. Not to tell you to try harder. But to offer something softer. A pause. A breath. A reminder: your mind does not need more. It needs space. It needs kindness. It needs silence. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be open. And you can begin again, anytime. So if your mind is full, stop. Don't add more. Don't fight it. Just pause. Just breathe. Close your eyes. Listen to the wind. Let go of the fear, the rush, the noise. Pour out what you don't need. Make space for what matters. Your heart already knows what is true: you are growing. You are learning. You are enough, even now. From this quiet place, you can speak again. Study again. Live again. Not with pressure. But with peace. Not with fear. But with joy. So now, dear friend, empty your mind. Open your heart. And begin again.